Hey y'all, it's Necey Dixon. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, welcome. If you are returning, y'all, welcome back. I know we got a gang of new people in here. A lot of y'all came from my Married at First Sight video. And look at that number down there, y'all. Tell me what it says, because my subscriber goal before my 1-year YouTube anniversary in April was to hit 2,000 subscribers. And I think like a day after I asked y'all to share the video and subscribe, a lot of y'all went ahead and hit that subscribe button. So thank y'all. Y'all, we are 2,000 deep in here, 2,000 likes, whatever it is, we 2,000 deep because y'all be showing out in the comments, okay? So thank y'all for that. Let's think about what that next subscriber goal is gonna be, y'all, because I think we can do big things on this channel. So thank y'all for subscribing, thank y'all for sharing, and thank y'all for showing up and showing out in the comments so I can really get to know y'all. But this week, y'all, we are reviewing Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 13, episode 8. This is a continuation from the last episode, and honestly, y'all, this was giving me, I saw this on Twitter, this was giving me summer camp vibes instead of like a girls trip vibe. Are we gonna blame it on the quarantine? I don't know, y'all, but without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this review. All right, y'all, so the episode starts out and the common folk, the regular ladies, are on the Sprinter bus on their way to Charleston. Keep in mind, y'all, Kenya and Latoya have already taken this private jet. They have been in Charleston relaxing. And while they're on this bus, we get Kandi defending Kenya for bringing her daughter Brooklyn on the trip. Kandi says that, y'all know Kenya don't have any help and blah, 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 blah. And if we think about it logically, if you think about what Kandi said, she's saying that Kenya doesn't have a regular nanny, so she's not going to leave her nanny with anybody in Atlanta, so that's why she had to bring her daughter, which makes sense, okay? It makes sense. I don't understand why the other ladies would be complaining about their kids not coming on the trip. I already talked to y'all about this before. I don't have no kids, but a lot of y'all who do have kids, comment below and let me know that y'all would leave them kids at home for a girls trip. So I don't know why they were trying to make a thing. I would have been more upset about them flying on that private jet, or even more upset about this girl ordering Uber Eats while everybody else is starving, but we will get to that in a second. So yes, the ladies are on the bus. And, you know, they got a long trip. So back in Charleston, we get Kenya and Latoya, and they just chilling, relaxing. They've been there all day after taking their private flights. And they are planning for the detective Guess Who murder mystery dinner party. Now, I did not know that Kenya was planning this dinner party for the first night. Do you think that somebody wants to ride on a bus with their feet cramped up for 8 hours, get off the bus, and immediately start playing murder mystery games? No, okay? So that's why it didn't turn out the way it did. So before the ladies arrive, Cynthia arrives first. And remember, Cynthia has something else to do, so she shows up before the other ladies. And then the rest of the ladies come, and this is where the drinks begin. This is where, you know, everybody starts coming up with nicknames. They're taking shots. And I don't know, y'all, this might be the biggest cash trip that I have seen. To me, it was an insane amount of people on this trip. And I mentioned to y'all earlier in the video, I saw on Twitter, somebody said that this felt more like summer camp vibes instead of girls trip vibes. And honestly, I think the reason being is that it was just too many damn people. Everybody was pairing off in groups, and then the food is fend for yourself. So yes, very camp vibe. After all the ladies pour up, I told y'all they come up with nicknames, okay? And really the biggest note that stuck out to me is Cynthia. If you don't get this old tired nickname a break, girl, you have been 50 Cent for about 5 years, okay? I really want Cynthia to come up with something new. I almost would have liked it better if she came up with, you know, if she played off of the chill thing. So yeah, that was my biggest thing. Kandi had a hard time coming up with a nickname because she already has like an alter ego type name. She has a name for a nickname. Porsha's was really cute. Hers was Peach Juice. And then what was Tanya's? Tanya's was something really funny too, but I can't even remember it, y'all. So those are my notes on the nicknames. And another thing, y'all, I know I'm gonna keep talking about this, but summer camp vibes. This is another time where I don't think we've ever seen the ladies actually pour up like this. Like, when I saw this trip, it really made me feel like this is the stuff that I do with my friends when we go out of town. It'd be liquor all over the table, and it looked like they was mixing it with Hawaiian punch. like, dang, that juice is looking way too red. So it was just looking real regular to me, on top of it being like 50 people on the trip. Now, y'all, the murder mystery game starts, and it feels like they have literally just walked into the door. You get the girls sprawling all over the floor. Then the man walks in with a fake gun, and Porsha dives over that couch. She flips, tucks, rolls. She's not playing no games, y'all. It was hilarious. I was like, what? My mouth dropped. So I was thinking, Porsha probably stays on Ready. She spent all those weeks protesting. Y'all think she ain't gonna stay on Ready? She know. All the women are drunk, and then you get like 3 women who are actually playing the game. You get Candy, Tanya, and Kenya playing the game, and then all the rest of the ladies are drunk as ever playing games. And I'm not gonna be mad at the women being drunk. Who are you to tell somebody how to behave and what they gonna do after they just spent 8 hours on a bus? Not me. So then we get a surprise guest from Fallon, y'all, another person on this trip. How many people were on this trip, y'all? Literally all the friends were there. Fallon shows up. Fallon is not staying with the ladies. Her husband actually booked a villa down on from them, so she's not staying with them. However, she will pop up throughout the day to hang out with the girls. And LaToya is drunk, y'all. Y'all thought that LaToya couldn't show her ass anymore? Wait till she get a little bit of liquor in her system. So LaToya says to Fallon, why aren't you staying with us? Or why'd you bring your husband? And Fallon says, because he's my best friend. And everybody says, aw. And LaToya said, forget all that aw shit. You could have made a best friend here. And y'all, I'm not even going to be mad at LaToya for this single comment. Because if I was going on a girls trip and somebody brought their man, I'd have been like, girl, what are you doing? For what? But at the same time, it's like, you don't really know Fallon that well. But y'all know LaToya does not know boundaries. So how I feel about that comment, LaToya, you don't know boundaries, but at the same time, like if it was one of my girls, one of my friends, I would have said the same shit. Why are you bringing this man on a trip? So Drew makes a comment to LaToya and says, don't listen to her. She don't care about, I was about to say cousins. Drew says to Fallon, don't listen to her. She don't care about husbands. And everybody was like, ooh, okay. So yes, y'all, it is time to go figure out who has what room. And this is where LaToya shows her ass just a little bit more. She walks up to Drew, grabs her on the arm. She does grab her pretty aggressively, but to me, it didn't look like she was trying to fight, okay? Pay attention, y'all. Y'all tell me what y'all think about this scene. LaToya grabbed Drew's arm aggressively out of drunkenness, and she said to her, let's talk about your struggling husband. And somehow, none of the ladies made it about the words that came out of LaToya's mouth. Everybody was like, don't touch her. Don't touch her. You are aggressive. We're not going to touch each other. I'm like, did she, like, she literally just said struggling husband and nobody's saying anything about it. I want to know what the struggle was, okay? Is she talking about him leaving for 3 days? You talking about financially? What is the tea, LaToya? I never knew he was struggling. So, yeah, they're not talking about that. Drew kind of just, see, this is the thing that was weird to me. Whenever LaToya grabbed her, Drew tore her face up. Then they pulled LaToya back, and Drew says, bitch, don't touch me. You know, last time somebody did that, their head got knocked off. I'm from Chicago, bitch. And, like, I really like Drew. But I guess I would have respected it more if you went ahead and called her out for all the shit that she was on. You should have called her out for the words that came out of her mouth, rather than just talking about her grabbing you. The only reason why I can see you not really addressing what she said is because there could be some potential tea, and you don't want the group to ask the same thing I'm asking. Like, what does she mean by struggling? You kind of just want the focus to be like, why did she touch you? Not to mention, you're still upset about her talking shit about your wig, which you should be. So it's just a very weird situation. I just wish the group would have just called a spade a spade. So yes, they get showed the rooms, okay? And Marlo is introduced to her jail cell. For some reason, I don't feel like this is the first trip where Marlo has gotten a sucky room. I feel like in a previous season, there has had to be another trip where Kenya did the same thing before. And I was like, damn, I kind of feel bad for Marlo because she's been here with all these ladies for this long. And because she's the friend of the group, she always gets, you know, the sucky room. Her and Kenya have real beef that's disguised as play beef. So, of course, you're always going to get the short end of the stick with Kenya. Marlo's like, I'm not sleeping in this room. She ends up converting the living room to her bedroom. She got her shoes across the fireplace. I'm like, okay, Marlo. And then that little jail cell, she converts into her dressing room. So after all the ladies are showed their rooms, they end up splitting into 2 groups. And we get the nieces and the aunties. And when I heard Shamia say that, I was like, girl, that's exactly what it is. I couldn't figure it out this whole time what the group dynamic was, but the aunties and the nieces is exactly right. So all the nieces are downstairs or in another room. They drinking, turning up, having fun, talking about the old ladies. And you get Candy and Kenya, Cynthia and Latoya, and they all complaining about the other girls. And they start discussing, like, was Latoya's delivery wrong? Latoya's like, I apologize for touching her, but I'm not gonna apologize about her wig because her wig was trash, blah, 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 blah. And again, they're not talking about the struggling husband comment. So Latoya's like, yeah, I'm gonna apologize to her, but I'm gonna give her a wig. And they're like, you might not want to do that. It's the next day. All the ladies are FaceTiming. They're on the phone talking to their husbands. We get Kenya and Brooklyn. And again, they are blurring out Brooklyn's face. And I saw a couple people asking why. The reason why is because Mark is petty as fuck. We've seen Baby Brooklyn before. We see Baby Brooklyn on Kenya's Instagram, but Mark does not want his child on Real Housewives of Atlanta. So for that reason, they've been blurring out Brooklyn's face. So Drew is upstairs in her room and she's talking to her husband on FaceTime to tell her husband what happened last night. And again, she does not mention the struggling husband comment. She just mentions Latoya grabbing her hand really hard. And I'm like, why are we not talking about this? Like, did I just make that up or did y'all hear that comment too? I don't understand. This episode, y'all, was like a modge podge of things, and it's honestly really hard to review because nothing really happened like that. Like, it seems like it's gonna turn up because Latoya's with the mess, but nothing really happened like that. So yes, again, they're ignoring the struggling husband comment. Then downstairs, we get Marlo, and Marlo is getting dressed, and she is talking to Candy, and she says, yeah, you know, it really hurt me to the core that Kenya gave me this room. And part of me kind of just feels like it's not really that serious because you and Kenya have had this same dynamic for years now. It's not really a surprise, but if it's something that you feel like you and Kenya should talk about, maybe y'all should. And honestly, that's the same thing that Candy tells her. If it's really bothering you, then go ahead and talk to her about it, okay? Then, y'all, on the other side of the summer camp, we get Porsha and Shamia, and they are talking about Dennis. Porsha is showing Shamia the text messages, flexing about how bad Dennis wants her back. And this is my thing, okay? Dennis is a romantic guy, right? Dennis is always wooing and doing everything he can do to get Porsha back. But Dennis has also shown to be a fuckboy as well. I'm not saying you shouldn't take your man back, but why are we giving Dennis so much credit for trying to get Porsha back rather than keeping her in the first place? And I feel like that's something that's always being discussed on the show, is that, oh my gosh, Dennis is doing so much. You should take Dennis back. Dennis wants his family back. But we never talk about what Dennis is doing to put himself in the predicament that he's in the first place. So why are we giving credit on the back end instead of giving credit where it should be on the front end? Do what you got to do to keep your woman. And honestly, that stuff, Porsha likes being chased. That stuff really strokes her ego. And I feel like at some point you got to ask yourself, would you rather be kept or do you want to be chased just for him to get you back for the fuckboy shit that he was doing before? So I really don't understand that. But I mean, if you like it, I love it. Good for Dennis for fighting to get you back, but it's like something that we've already seen before. So y'all, as the day goes on, the ladies are hungry. The ladies are hungry. Kenya orders her Uber Eats and everybody's like, what about us? What about us? And Kenya's like, it's food in the fridge. I'm like, Kenya, if it was food in the fridge, you would have ate the food out the fridge. The only good thing I will say is at least she did not order Uber Eats for herself and Latoya, because that is definitely what I was expecting her to do. I thought she was going to open up all that food, go hand Latoya her meal, and then she keep hers. You should have took yourself over to the other house that your nanny and baby Brooklyn was staying in. You should have ate over there and then you should have popped back over. Kenya's being a bad host, y'all. She's not getting food for the ladies, so they're all complaining about that. Now, y'all, it is dinner time. LaToya has this wig and she wants to present it to Drew in front of everybody after everybody then already told her this is not a good idea. So she says in front of everybody, I really want to gift you a wig, da 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 da. Marlo done already said it's not even HD lace, so she's just being really petty at this point. Drew, it says, oh, okay, but I get my wigs done by the best stylist in Hollywood. And I just thought it was really funny because Drew keeps talking about Hollywood. I'm like, I feel like people haven't referred to Hollywood as Hollywood since like the early 2000s or the 90s. People don't really talk about Hollywood as a destination place like that. Everybody knows that you can get the top stylist anywhere over LA. All the Instagram models have the top hairstylist. So I'm like, okay, Drew, like let this Hollywood thing go. While LaToya thought she was throwing a little bit of shade, Drew comes back with an entire shade tree. And she says, I'm so glad that you've been watching me. So this is what I do for my fans. And she wrote her autograph and handed her that picture off. And I was like, yes, Drew. Y'all, I was on the couch rooting for Drew. Because LaToya, you thought that you were setting up something real cute. But then whenever Drew came back and called your ass a fan, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so proud. Y'all, I'm so happy with Drew being the newest housewife. I've never seen a housewife come in and be so likable from the jump. She is not, she don't start drama, but if you come to her with it, she'll finish it. And I'm like, okay, I really like Drew. While I don't like the dynamic of her relationship and what she entered the show with, I really like Drew. So also, y'all, at the dinner table, we get a conversation between Marlo and Kenya. Marlo, you be killing me, okay? Even in her, I guess I wouldn't call it an apology, but even in her discussion, she finds a way to be shady. And she says, you know, it really hurt my feelings, Kenya, that you gave me that room. And Kenya says to her, it really hurts me that, you know, someone I call a friend would talk about me so badly. And Marlo says, what? I talk about your fake ass and your skin. And I'm like, Marlo, like, that's mean. But it was hilarious because Kenya was like, I don't have a fake ass. And Marlo says, something's been done. You have injections. Something's been done. And Marlo's like, nah, I'm not going to let you get away with that one. Let's go ahead and call it what it is. So that was hilarious. I honestly don't see the relationship with Kenya and Marlo going anywhere. It kind of just is what it is. It's real beef, but it is clothed in play beef. So, y'all, honestly, people are saying that Atlanta is getting better, but it really is not to me. This episode was a whole modge podge of things. Very summer camp vibes. I didn't really like the story this episode. I'm sorry if my review was all over the place, but they really didn't give us nothing this episode. So tell me what y'all think about tonight's episode. Next week, y'all, we will not get Real Housewives of Atlanta because they are taking a week off for the Super Bowl. But I'm going to be here to talk about Salt Lake City and Married at First Sight. Not to mention, I will be going live on Scotty by Nature's channel tonight at 7:05 Central Standard Time. So I'll see y'all then. Go ahead, comment below, tell me y'all thoughts. Thank y'all for watching. Have a good one, y'all. Bye.